Hello friends, let's begin with our new topic, that is plastic analysis. So first let's see the stress strain curve for mild steel in tension. So we take a mild steel bar and we apply tension on this bar. So this is the stress strain curve what we get for the mild steel bar in tension. So there are various parts of this curve. So let's see these. So this part A represents the proportionality limit. It means that the stress is linearly proportional to strain in this part, and so Hooke's law is valid in this part. Now after A, this point B, so that is up to point OB, the material remains in the elastic zone. So this is the elastic limit of the material. So up to this point B, if we remove the load on this from this bar, so it will gain its original, or it will regain its original shape, and no permanent deformation will be there in this material. Now after this point B, the material yields, that is we get the upper yield point and then we get the lower yield point, that is C dash. And so after the elastic limit, the material enters in the plastic zone, that is any deformation which is occurring after this elastic point, then that deformation will be permanent. Now in this part, that is from C dash to D, the strain increases even without increasing the stress. So the stress at this point is denoted as Fy, that is our yield stress. Now in this part D, again we have to increase the stress to strain the material. So this D part, it is known as the strain hardening part. That is, we again have to increase our stress to in order to increase our strain, and then we reach our point E, that is the ultimate stress point, and corresponding to it we get the ultimate load on the material. What is the ultimate load capacity of this material? We'll get from here. Now after this point E, the necking of the material starts, that is the cross sectional area will start to reduce, and then at point F the material simply breaks. So this part EF, it is also known as strain softening part. Now when we talk about the elastic design, so what we do in that, we only consider strength of the material up to this point, that is when it yields. So the location of this C and C dash, so this formation of this part, this little inverted U here, it depends upon the method and rate of application of load. So in our actual analysis, we neglect this part and we say that this curve directly meets this point C dash. So we simply say that after the elastic zone, the material simply yields, and that we take as our ultimate stress, and then we apply some factor of safety on this stress, and from that we'll get our actual stress or the allowable stress. And so if we are using this kind of design, so allowable stress will be somewhere here depending upon the factor of safety. So we are remaining in the, or we are staying in the elastic zone. But for steel, we have observed in this curve that it has much more strength. So even after it has yielded, so it can go under strain because it is a ductile material. So it will not break because of its ductility. So it can simply go under deformation without breaking. And then we also see that in this part strain hardening takes place. So ultimate stress is somewhere here. But even if we neglect this, then also because of the plasticity of the material, there is much more capacity available. So this is the type of curve we use in our plastic design. That is, we say that first the material is elastic up to this point A, and then it yields. So we get the yield stress, and after this point in the zone AB, it will simply go under deformation without taking or without carrying any more stress. But the stress up to Fy can be carried. And we are still ignoring this strain hardening part when we talk about the plastic design. So when we ignore this strain hardening part, so it means that we are still on the safer side because the actual strength of the material is somewhere here. So after this, let's see the how the stress takes place or the stress distribution for a simply supported beam, and when we apply some load on its center. So this is a rectangular beam of width b and depth d. Now we say that the initial stress is Fa, that is allowable stress. Now after this, so on the extreme fibers it is Fa, and on the center or on the neutral axis we can say the stress is 0. Now if we further increase the load, so this extreme fibers they will reach the yield stress at first. So the top and bottom fiber will reach the yield stress before any of the other part. So if this is our some section of the beam, so on this section, this point and this point they have yielded if we are talking about this diagram. Now if we are talking about elastic design, then we will stop at this point. We'll say that this is our maximum stress that the material can take. But in the plastic design, we know that even if these extreme fibers have yielded, the fibers which are lying inside the beam or inside the depth in this zone, they have not yielded. They can still take much more stress. So we can further increase the load. So the fibers which are there inside the beam at some depth, they will start yielding. So that's what is happening here. So here we are reaching the Fy stress up to this point. Now if we further increase the material, so what is happening here, these materials are reaching their full capacity, that is they are reaching the yield stress. And if we further increase the load, so we will reach at this point, that is when every fiber on this section, all the fibers they will have yielded. So all the fibers on this section they reach the yield stress. Now if we further try to increase the load, so what will happen, this section has no more moment carrying capacity. So what happens, it will simply rotate. So this beam after this point, what will happen, it will rotate like this. This is our point on which we are applying the load. So this point becomes as a hinge, or this point acts as a hinge, and we call it as the plastic hinge. There is no actual hinge in the place, but this part becomes as a hinge because if we further increase the load, this will go under any amount of rotation. It can go infinite amount of rotation. So this is a plastic hinge. What is the difference between the actual hinge and plastic hinge? Actual hinge cannot take any load. M is equal to 0 for actual hinge, and for plastic hinge it can take movement up to this plastic point, that is when all the materials have yielded, what will be the movement at that point, it can carry the movement up to that. But if we further increase the movement even a little, so that after that it will rotate. So this is the difference. So what is the capacity of our material just when this plastic hinge is forming? That's what we are interested in finding out. That's what we denote as MP, that is plastic movement capacity. So first let's see what happens in the plastic design. If this is our beam, that is depth D, width is B, and this is our stress diagram. So the extreme fibers have yielded in this case, let's say. So we know from our analysis in the SOM on the strength of materials that M is equal to Fz, or M upon I is equal to F upon Y. And from here we get that M is equal to F into I upon Y, and this I upon Y we denote as Z, that is section modulus. And from this formula also we can find out our movement capacity, but there is another way. So this is our actual stress distribution when the extreme fibers have yielded, and that is our elastic limit. So how can we write the movement on this point? So on this part, on the compression side, there is this force of compression, and on the tension side there is this force of tension. So let's write the moment about this point, and that will be our actual moment at this point. So M is equal to, or ME for elastic we can say, M is equal to Fc into, if this distance here is y1, Fc into y1 plus this distance is y2, so plus Ft into y2. Now if we are talking about a rectangular beam, so this depth will be d by 2 here, and similarly this is d by 2, and this stress distribution is triangular. So what will be the force? Force is stress times area. So what is the average stress on this if we are talking about the compression part? So average stress is 0 plus Fy upon 2, that is the stress, multiplied by the area. So area would be B into D by 2. So that is the force stress into area multiplied by this B1. So for the triangular shape, this y1 would be this d by 2 into 2 by 3, and similarly for the tension side also it will be same, that is 0 plus Fy upon 2 into Bd by 2, that is the force, into lever arm would be d by 2 into 2 by 3. So what is the value of Me from here? So from here this will cancel out. So this is Fy Bd square by 12 plus Fy Bd square by 12. The summation of this would give us Fy into Bd square by 6, and from here we know this Me upon Fy is equal to Bd square by 6, which is nothing but this elastic modulus, elastic section modulus, and that we also know that from I upon y also we get the same, that is Bd cube by 12 divided by d by 2. So from here also it comes out to Bd square by 6. So this is the same result from here. I just wanted to show it using this way, and this is the way we can also apply for our plastic analysis. So here we have got our elastic moment capacity, and similarly let us see the plastic moment capacity. So in plastic case, this is our stress distribution. So at all the points the stress is equal to Fy. Similarly on this side also it is Fy, and this is our section of the beam, that is this width is B and depth is D. So from here if we want to write down the plastic moment, so it would be, if this is Fc and this is Ft, so again this distance from here it is y2 and from here it is y1. Now it would be equal to Fc into y1 plus Ft into y2. Now we know that stress is same in this area, so Fc would be Fy into Bd by 2, that is the force stress into area, into y1 would be, if this depth is d by 2, so this y1 would be half of that, that is d by 4. Similarly on the tension side also it is same, Fy into Bd by 2 into d by 4. So from here we get plastic moment is equal to Fy Bd square by 8 plus Fy Bd square by 8. So from here MP is equal to Fy Bd square by 4, and we got our elastic moment we got as Me is equal to Fy into Bd square by 6. And so from here we can take this ratio, that is M plastic upon M elastic. So for this it will come as Bd square by 4 divided by Bd square by 6, which is also equal to Z plastic divided by Z elastic. So this Bd square by 4 term here it is equal to Z plastic, that is plastic section modulus. So this value comes out to be m plastic upon m elastic is equal to 6 by 4 equal to 1.5, which is also equal to z plastic upon z elastic. So this ratio of the elastic moduli of the section, it is known as the shape factor, and this is also equal to the ratio of the moments, that is it is equal to m plastic divided by m elastic. So it indicates that how many times we get the plastic moment of the elastic moment, that is for a rectangular section we get m plastic is equal to 1.5 times m elastic. So we can find out what is the gain if we are using our plastic analysis in the moment carrying capacity. Now in this case of plastic analysis, what happens, for the neutral axis we know that compression force is equal to tension force and force is equal to stress into area. So for the plastic analysis, this force becomes Fy into area. Let's say on the compression side it is A1, let me write it as C, and similarly on the tension side it is equal to Fy into A2. Now because Fy is same on the compression side and on the second on the tension side also, so it means to equate the compression and tension force, the A1 should be equal to A2, that is area above neutral axis should be equal to area below neutral axis, that is A1 equal to A2 is equal to A by 2. And so from this we can write our the formula of Z plastic in general form. So MPV, I said that it is equal to Fc into A1 into Y1 plus Ft into A2 into Y2, and this is equal to Fy. Here also it is equal to Fy. And this A1 is equal to A2 is equal to A by 2, so we can take it out common. So Fy into A by 2 into Y1 plus Y2. So that is Zp. From here we can write Fy into A by 2 to Y1 plus Y2. So this part represents our plastic section modulus, Y1 plus Y2 into A by 2. So this is the general formula for plastic section modulus, and after this we will see the shape factor for various other sections.